Hello everyone, this is Lori with LM's Crafty Creations, and I am here to share a new Christmas album with you. This is a design team project for countrycraftcreations.com, and I used the Carta Christmas paper, and it is so gorgeous, and I just love it. I always love Carta paper because it's just a little bit thicker and sometimes usually textured than other papers, and so I just really enjoy working with it. If you were on my Facebook page or the Facebook page of Scrapbookers of Country Craft Creations, then you saw my sneak peek, and I did show part of the shaker. So I have done a little shaker on the front cover. I used a cut apart back behind there, and then just some gold chunky glitter. Sorry, silver. I can't tell my colors this morning apparently. I've just layered some of the papers in the background, and this is, in, in addition to being a shaker, I can't speak, is also two photo mats that open up, and it has a magnetized closure. On the spine, for Christmas, I always love using this velvety trim. It's by Doodlebug, and I buy it, several sheets of it at a time, and I use it for the spine of my albums. So everyone keeps asking me to do a tutorial on this, and by the time I get to this part, like, I need the album to be done, so I don't have time to do a tutorial on it, but it's super simple. I just cover it in score tape, and I start, like, I draw a line where I want to start, and I place it there, and then I fold it all the way around. And, sometimes it's not perfect, so let me show you an imperfection. Right here, if you'll see, it doesn't line up. Is it right there? Yeah, it doesn't line up exactly. So instead of, worrying about that, I just color this in with a black Sharpie, and you really can't tell that much. And besides, it's the back of the book, so make sure you start at the front and go to the back, and it's not a big deal. So anyway, here's the paper on the back, which I thought it was super cute, and I used a little sticker border at the bottom. So on the inside, it's essentially two page styles. The front of every page is the same, and then there's two different styles for the back that you can do. So I always do a cover pocket. I just can't help it. I love pockets on the cover, and so that's usually what I do. I've stuffed it with some photo mats. I have a, let's see, is this a booklet? Looks like one. Yes. Oh, no, it's two. So I have two 4x4 photo mats here, and then I have a little photo mat here, and then a standard one there. So this is a sticker from the collection, a cut apart, of course, and I've just layered the papers. And on this side, this actually goes the other way. Here I took the cut aparts and I just put some white cardstock on the back so that you could journal on them. And this one says 25 days until Christmas. And here is a booklet, and it will hold a cropped 5x7 photo. And I've just layered some of the paper and the stickers, and it's blank on the inside. And then this is a gatefold, and it opens up to a spread. Let's see if I can get this all in the frame. Maybe I need to zoom out just once. Is that a little better? Now you're getting my shirt. There we go. Maybe that's better. Okay. So you have this spread, and you can do this however you want. You can cover it all with paper and let the people decide what they want to do their photos. And I've done some of that in this album. Here I used some of the cut aparts and some stickers and just pieces of the pattern paper. So this goes back in here along with a little journal card, and it flips. And here is one of the page styles. So I have a side pocket here, and I've just done up some photo mats. They will hold 4x6 photos, and I just use the stickers and my scraps of paper to decorate those. This unties and opens, and this is a cut apart from the collection that I cut down, and it flips up, and you can put a photo there, here, and then two more spaces there, which I thought that was super cute. On the other side, I made a pocket out of the pattern paper instead of doing like an actual pocket, so that way you can choose what you want to do. And I just glued the paper on three sides. And inside, I did punch I only did one of these photo mats, but I thought it was really cute. And then there's a cut apart from the collection there. This flips over, and you have a large waterfall. So, and then you have a pocket at the top. So here's a pocket with the photo mat. Again, just decorated with strips of paper. And here, I did it just slightly different. I gave the waterfall larger gussets than a 1/2 inch. I did 3/4 inch. So when you flip it, and I actually need to put paper here because I did that on the other waterfall. I liked this look where it looks like it's filled with pattern paper, but it's not. So when you flip it, there's just that strip, and you can cut your paper so the strip shows, or you could cover it, whatever you want to do. But I wanted to put, these are larger than normal gussets. I wanted to put paper here as well, and I just forgot. And so it's like that with just the strips throughout. And this ties. You could do a magnetic closure here with a magnetic flap if you wanted to. And on this side, it repeats. But the back is different, so I'll show you that. So here is a cut apart, a booklet. I put this sticker here because these flaps were catching on the pocket, and this prevents that from happening. It's only glued down on one flap, so make sure if you're going to do this, don't glue it down to both flaps, or else they won't open, of course. So on this side, this is hard to get all in the frame all the time. I have to keep moving it. I did 2 photo mats here and 2 here and then 1 here. And then I just kind of pieced my papers together because I didn't have enough to do the whole thing. I just made it work for me. And then I have, this was a tag from the sticker sheet, and then just from the ephemera pack, this little tag, Christmas wishes was cute. And this flips, and here is the second page style. So again, I have a pocket up here with the photo mat that's decorated. I love this paper. This is a magnetic closure, and it opens this way, and it opens this way. And I have a little tag from the ephemera pack here, sticker there, and sticker here, and then just 2 photo mats. And this closes, and then this also flips open. And you have just a single pocket here. It looks like a stacked pocket because of the way I cut the paper, but it's just a single one, and I have a cut apart from the collection as well as a sticker. And then on this side, again, I did the same thing on every page. I did the little pocket out of the paper, and this is just a cut apart that I mounted to cardstock. Okay, on this side, I did 2 tag pockets, and then there's the pocket at the top with the scraps of paper. And then these, I didn't cover them with paper because they're cut down a little bit, so I thought you could just put your photo directly on top and they go inside. I used my punch, We Are Memory Keepers punch for that. Have some seam binding here, and then this flips up and you have a large space for photos here. And this is a sticker from the collection. So now the book actually repeats. I meant to do the page styles every other one, but I messed up and I decorated this and realized that I did it wrong. So it really doesn't matter though. Again, I put this here to make sure that none of this catches on the pocket. And then I have a journaling card, and then a photo mat, and then a booklet. Whoa. And some of this I kept pretty simple. I didn't decorate with a whole lot of embellishments just because the paper was so pretty. Here I have photos on the flaps, and then here is just a tuck spot with a photo mat, and then you could put a photo mat or a photo here if you wanted. And this is a sticker from the collection. This flips. And again, we have that same style we just saw. There's the photo mat. And then I stuck a 4x4 photo mat there. This flips open. I did a sticker border strip here, and then a sticker there, and 2 photo mats. And then it flips open, and then you have the pocket. And here I pieced my paper because I wanted to use these 2 patterns, and I didn't have any more to cover this. So I just punched out squares and layered them. And this is a cut apart from the collection. Really cute cut aparts. And here I did a photo mat, again, just using up my scraps. And then the tag pockets again, but that's how I decorated that. And I did use my envelope punch board to make the notches and then flip it up. We have 2 more here. And then on this side, again, a journaling card, a photo mat, and then the booklet. I think I did this one backwards, sort of. And this opens up. And I liked doing the photo mats and the flaps, so I did that again. And then this is a cute cut apart with the Christmas checklist. Just really cute paper in this collection. It was so fun to work with. And here, this was from the front of the book, so it repeats again. Photo mat. I loved this border paper. And this opens this way, cut apart here. And I actually cut this part out of the cut apart and backed it to the green cardstock. So I thought that looked better with all my busy paper on the other side. And then on the other side I have, again, a pocket where I glued down the 3 sides. And then I have another journal card tucked in there. And then this is the final waterfall. And on this one, I will show you, excuse me, I actually cut this out and framed this piece of paper instead of double layering it. And here I did put the additional strips, and I liked that better. I thought it looked really good. And let's see. Then of course I have a pocket on the back. Oh, and then I have a photo mat on this page as well. You could do these larger, of course, if you wanted to, or even do booklets or something like that. And here's this page, a cute cut apart. And again, just more photo mats, journaling cards, whatever you want to use them for. They all go in this pocket. And that's it. So it's a super cute album. It's really large. The spine is like 3.5 or 3.25 or something like that. So it's a big book. So we're going to go over how to make this right now, and I will go over some elements on how to do the shaker. So let me get my stuff out. Put this to the side over here. So I've already pre-cut all of my pieces. Ooh, I forgot to score this piece. Do I need to score it? I do. I just cut this one. So I need to go ahead and score it quick. I ran out of my Hobby Lobby craft cardstock, so this is actually Tamara's artisan cardstock, which I don't like to use in my videos like this when I'm creating, because usually I just throw them away. Grab my scissors. Of course, I use my art glitter glue, and I have my little cute little flowers on the top so I can find my stopper. I can't speak. It's early this morning. I don't have my daughter today. She's at my parents' house, and I'm all alone in the house. My husband's at work, so this is a rare occasion. So I decided I'm going to get up early, and I'm going to go ahead and do this video. And I'm still half asleep. So I apologize for that. Okay, we're going to start here. I got just a jumbled mess of everything on here with the base pages. So the first thing you're going to need is a piece of cardstock, and I'll show you how to make both page styles at cut by 8 inches by 8 inches, and no scoring needed on this page. To create your binding pocket, what I like to call it, you're going to cut a piece at 6 1/4 by 9 inches, and you're going to score on the 9-inch side at 1/2 inch on each end of the page. So I'm going to turn this on and attach it to the back of my 8x8 page. And my cardstock is curling up because it was, I'm running out and I need to go get some more. And this was like the last thing I found tucked away somewhere, but it was all curled. I can't get it to lay flat. So I'm just going to add my glue here. And I'm going to attach this all the way at the bottom. And line it up with the right hand side. And then this is what is going to attach to our binding right there. So then I'm going to take this page. Actually, I'm going to stay on this page and I'm going to go ahead and attach this piece. This is a piece cut to 8.5 inches by 8 inches. Score on the 8.5 inch side at 1/2 inch. And then go ahead and fold on that score line. And then miter your corners just like this. You're just taking a little bit off so that it fits easier into the pocket and you don't have to struggle with it. You're going to put your glue on the inside of the flap like so. And you're going to tuck this into the pocket we just added. And this will be the back. Okay. Now flip this over and we're going to go ahead and add this pocket here. Now these are the elements that you're going to add to. It depends on how many pages you do. I did 4 pages. So if you're going to do 4 pages, then you add all of these elements to each of the 4 pages. And then we get to the differences, I'll let you know. So this one's cut to 6 3/4 by 9 and score on the 6 3/4 inch side at 1/2 inch and then on the 9 inch side at 1/2 inch on each end. And then you're going to miter your corners where the score lines meet. We're just removing some of that bulk of the pocket. And we're going to fold on all of those score lines. Make sure you get a good crease. It'll be easier to glue it down if you have a good crease. Add your glue on the outside of the flaps. I don't know why I like to do the curlicues, but that's what I do. And you're going to attach this right on top, lining it up with the bottom and the sides of the page. And then we'll build other elements on top of this later. Okay, now flip it back over and we're going to go over, let's see, the front flaps. So let's go ahead and add our 2 gatefold flaps. So you're going to cut 2 of these for each page at 4.5 inches by 8 inches, and you're going to score on the 4.5 inch side at 1/2 inch. And then you're going to fold this one. I'm going to miter my corners just slightly, and you just barely have to do this. And then I'm going to add it to the inside. Yeah, inside of the pocket, just like so. You can get it in there. Make sure it's all lined up, top to bottom. And the other one, we're going to fold. And let me see if we want to add it. I think I added it on the other side. I did. So what I did is you could add your glue again to the inside of the flap, and then put it like this. You don't have to mind your corners here, and it should line up in the middle pretty perfectly, maybe a small gap. You want a small gap because you don't want them to, or you want them to meet just perfectly because you don't want them to interfere with each other when they open. Okay, so there's our gatefold flaps. And then we're going to do our decorative like angled pockets. So I cut 2 of these at 4.5 by 4.5. And this one actually goes this way. So when you're, does it matter? I don't know if it matters or not. Anyway, these, I've done mine to where I have a score line on each side. They're mirror images of each other, basically, is what I'm trying to tell you. So I'm going to go ahead and miter my corners on each one. And then I'm going to fold on the score lines. And those of you who have done several albums with me, you'll know how I create my angled pockets. We're going to measure and mark them. So there it is. So as soon as I find my ruler. So I did 1.5 inches. So here's where my flaps are. I'm going to turn it over, and on the side I'm going to measure 1.5 inches over, and I'm going to make a mark. Make sure that your flaps are folded in. So I have a little mark there. I'm going to do the same from the top. Measure over 1.5 inches and mark it. And then, so I have these 2 marks. Can you see those? And then I'm going to connect them just like this. And then I'm going to cut this piece off. This will give me my angled pocket. Just like so. Now, what I do for the other one, just so I don't have to measure, is I take this piece like this, and then this piece, and I stick it on top. You can measure if you want. It would probably be more accurate that way, but this is what I do. I draw my line. Yeah, and I cut. Okay, and now I have my 2 pockets, just like that. So then I'm going to add these to the page. Like so. Make sure they don't, whoops, my computer's wanting to do something funny on me. Okay. I don't know if y'all saw all that mess that just happened. My computer went a little haywire for a minute. So, anyway, I'm distracted. You're gonna add this pocket and make sure it doesn't overlap this flap. And you're gonna do the same on the other side. Okay, and now you have your double pockets. Now we're going to flip, and this is where things start to get different. So all of this is the same for each page. So all of these elements you'll add on here to each page that you do. So now we're going to go ahead and do the first page style, which is super easy. And actually, we're going to put this aside for a second. And I have everything marked. These are all my ones for version 1, is what I call it. So you're going to need 3 pieces here to make the little fold out that goes in the pocket. So you're going to need 2 pieces cut to 5.5 by 4 3/4, and you're going to score on the 4 3/4 inch side at 1/2 inch. And then you're going to need 1 piece that's not scored at all at 4 1/4 by 5.5. You're going to go ahead and fold on your score lines. And what I like to do is I like to take my 2 pieces and add them like this. And then I'll put this in the middle and put the flaps over it. So do you see what I've done there? Now you're going to keep this straight, open your flaps and add your glue and glue it down. And now we have our fold out. I did mine this way, where it flips up and then it flips down. Okay, and then this piece is going to go right here. So you're going to add your pattern paper first, and then you're going to glue this down here. And you can add a seam binding closure or just do a magnetic closure, whatever you like. So I'm going to stick that in this pocket. This page didn't have anything on it. It just had where I'd done the pocket with the pattern paper. So you could either do that, or you could choose to do a scrapbook layout on this page, or whatever you like. So we're going to flip this over, and then we're going to do our waterfall. So I did something a little bit different with my waterfall. For this, you're going to want to cut 6 pieces at 6 1/4 by 5 inches. And you're going to score on the 5-inch side at 3/4 of an inch. And then you're going to fold on each of those. And the reason why I did the larger gussets is to keep the bulk of the album down. Because if you do 1/2-inch gussets, they're closer together and you do more flaps and it's more bulky. So I didn't want to do that. So you're going to glue this down just like you would a standard waterfall. So the first one, I'm going to go ahead and add my glue here. And then I'm going to put it here, lining it up with the top and bottom of the pocket. And then you're going to flip it over. Like I said, it works just the same. Add your glue. And stick it down. And you just keep on adding. And here I did a ribbon closure on mine. You could create a little flap with a magnet and keep it closed that way if you like. Just make sure that if you do that, keep in mind how your flap might interact with the page next to it, because sometimes it'll get caught and you don't want that to happen. Did I cut 1, 2, 3, 4? I didn't cut enough of these. I should have cut 6. I only cut 5. So I'm not even following my own directions on my page. So you'll have one more to add, but apparently I didn't cut all the ones I was supposed to. and you'll have one that's here as well that you'll put there. So there's the waterfall, and this page is done. So then we're going to move on to the next page style. So I already have that basically put together. So let's see, the basic items. I didn't add the flaps because we've already done that together. So we'll just go over, that's what I need this piece for, the inside. So open it up to the inside where you have your pocket on the left-hand side. The first thing I'm going to add is this piece. So this piece, I cut it to 11 3/8 by 8 inches, and you're going to score on the 11 3/8 of an inch side at 1/2 inch, and then again at 6 inches, and you're going to fold on your score lines. Now the flap, the hinge needs to be folded in this way, and then you fold your the large flap in the other way, so it'll be like this. So we're going to miter these corners because we're going to add them on the inside of the binding pocket. And you're going to add your glue to the inside of the flap and stick it in the pocket all the way up to the score line, making sure you don't go over it. And there is that part of the flap, but you're also going to add a closure. So this is going to be cut to 4 inches by 8 inches, and you're going to score on the 4-inch side at 1/2 inch. Fold on that score line, and this time you're going to add your glue directly on the outside of the hinge. And you're going to add it right here to the top of the flap you just placed, lining it up with that pocket just like you did before, if that makes sense. And this will close this way. And this will close this way. And then I did not do a magnetic closure here, but I did one here. So flip this over once you have that glued, and we're going to add our pocket. It's cut to 6 3/8 by 4 inches, and score on the 4-inch side at 1/2 inch, and on the 6 3/8 of an inch side at 1/2 inch on each end, and then miter your corners. Fold on all your score lines and add your glue. And stick it down right on this flap. And you should have a little gap right here between the score line and the fold, or in the pocket, between the score line and the pocket. Okay, so that's it for that side. And again, on this side, I did the paper that I glued down on 3 sides to make a pocket. And then close this up, and let's see, the stuff for this page is in the pocket. You're going to cut, this is going to be the large flap on this one. You're going to cut it to 6 3/4 by 8 inches, and you're going to score on the 6 3/4 inch side at 1/2 inch. Go ahead and fold on the score line. Again, you want to miter your corners here because we're going to stick this in the pocket. Put your glue on the inside of the flap and stick it inside the pocket. Just like that. I did not use a magnet on this page. If you want to, you can. but I didn't feel like it was necessary. I try to save my magnets. I only use them when I have to. So now this is going to flip up. Oh wait, no. We're not going to do anything else on this page. You'll just decorate this page as you wish. We're actually going to put our pockets on this page. So you're going to cut 2 pockets, 2 5.5 by 5 inches, and you're going to score on the 5-inch side. Yeah, 5-inch side at 1/2 inch, and on the 5.5-inch side at 1/2 inch on each end. Miter your corners. And then we're going to go ahead and fold on those score lines. And I used my envelope punch board here to do the notches. So if you want to do notches there, you can. You would do that at this time before you add them to your page. So if you're not familiar with how to do that, you just sorry, I was making sure this seems awfully short. Maybe I measured it wrong. Yeah, that's not right. Why is it not right? What did I do? Hold on, I'll go back to the envelope punch board in just a second. Gotta make sure of what I did wrong. These are cut to, oh, that's what I did. 5 score, you score at 1/2 inch on 5.5. Let me cut these differently. My bad, guys, but it will be correct in your measurements, so you can go ahead and cut yours. So I need 5.5 by 5. So I should have scored I hate making mistakes on camera. Let's see. On the 5-inch side, you're going to score on 1/2 inch on each end, and on the 5.5 inch side, you're going to score at 1/2 inch. Okay, that should be right. Let's test it out to be sure. Right, oops, that's the wrong page. This is the right one. I told y'all, it's early morning. I should do these videos in the morning. So again, I'm going to miter my corners. Whoops, someone's looking for me. That's my husband. So now you're going to fold on the score marks for both pockets, and we'll make sure that they fit correctly. They should fit side by side right on the flap, and they do. Excuse me. We're just going to add our glue on the outside of the flaps. There we go. It doesn't hurt if it looks like it's just slightly over on the pocket. Whoops. Okay, glue on the inside there. Don't want to glue your pocket together. I'm going to add this one. So for the notches, if you're going to do the envelope punch board, of course you would do this before you glue them down. You would find the center of your pocket and then punch, line up your paper along with the ruler of the punch and then punch at the center, if that makes sense. I know I've showed y'all how to do that several times. And that's it. Now I did want to go over quickly, that's it for the pages at least. I wanted to go over the shaker. So I wanted to show you how I did that. So for the shaker, I did give you the measurements. I cut one piece at 10 inches by 5 and I scored on the 10-inch side at 5 inches. And I folded that in half. And this was my photo mat flap. And then I took a piece cut to 5 inches by 5 inches. And what I did is I took my ruler and I did a 1/2 inch. Did I do a 1/2 or 3/4? I did a 1/2 inch border all the way around. So I just took and I just measured 1/2 inch. So I decorated the front of this with my cut apart that I wanted to show through the acetate. And then I went ahead and did all 4 of these sides. And then I cut this piece out, of course, so that way I have my frame. Now what I do is I add this stuff. I bought a huge roll of this on Amazon. I add this foam mounting tape. And it looks like this. And it's just, you know, a little bit raised, and that's what I add all around the edge of my frame. So it just gives it a little bit of a lift. So then I added my acetate. Actually, I cut this out, I added my acetate, and then I added the foam strip, okay? And then I laid down all of my sequins and then just glued it on top. Now, you'll notice with this foam strip, the white shows. All you do is color that in with a Sharpie. So if you can see here, you can't see any of that white. It's only black because I colored it with a Sharpie. Okay, right there on the top. All right, so that's how I did that. And then I also wanted to go over with you guys, whoops, I almost dropped it, the binding system. This is the wrong piece. So this is a large album. So I did 3/4 inch gussets in between the pages. So I gave you the measurements of what I did my binding system as. I used the hidden hinge binding system. I just made my hinges larger is all I did. So my hinges are 1 inch, and my gussets are 3/4 inch. So I have 2 pieces that I've scored, and I have those measurements down below where I scored this one, and then I scored this piece that you're going to have to join to this one to create your binding, okay? So this one is scored at 1 inches and 2 inches, and it's cut to 3.5 inches by 8 7/8, I believe. So what you're going to do, see this large 1 inch hinge right here on the end? So I don't know if y'all can see this, but there is a hinge right here, and I apologize if my lines aren't straight, but I just want you to get an idea of what all of these look like. And I should have done this before I started filming, but you know, hindsight. Because you can't always see these score lines, and they're not going to be, like I said, I'm doing this fast, they're going to be crooked, my pencil lines. So here's these lines. So I want to glue this piece that has 2 hinges right here to connect them together, okay? Now, for the sake of time, I'm just going to use, well, probably anyway, I would just use my art glitter glue because that's what I always use. Make sure when you connect these pieces that you don't go over the score line. of that other hinge of your gusset. Does that make sense? So now that these are joined together, one on top of the other, you have your full binding system here. And you're just going to fold and score it like you would your previous binding, okay? So what I would probably do is I would put a strip of, do I have any right here immediately with me? Yes, I do. I would just put a strip of probably 3/8 of an inch score tape right here. Right down the middle of one of those 1-inch hinges, like so. I like using a combination of score tape and glue for my hinge system. And then what I'll do is peel this up. I'll put glue on both sides. And even maybe on the score tape. And then I'm going to glue this down. Now this craft cardstock always takes a minute for the glue to set, which is also why the score tape is kind of helpful. So here's my first hinge. See that? And I'm going to keep going. I'm going to fold. Remove your score tape. And I'm going to add glue. And now we already have 2 of our hinges, just like that. Now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to fold right here between the 2 1-inch hinges. And then I'm going to fold back on where the score line is for my gusset. I'm going to remove my tape. Add my glue. Now, of course, I would take way more care in this if it was actually used for an album. Right here, I'm just going quickly to show you how to do this. Okay, I'm going to fold this back this way. There's 3 hinges, and we have 1 more to go. I'm going to go ahead and just do it. Again, fold between the 2 1-inch score lines. Pull it back on the score line for the gusset. This is the one that we glued together. And you're going to fold it back this way. There we go. And there's our binding system. Super easy. Okay? And that way you know how to join them together now. All right? So that's it for that. And so I hope that I didn't go too fast and that you can understand exactly what was done. So, of course, visit the Facebook page of Scrapbookers of Country Craft Creations to see all of the wonderful projects. We have a great design team, and there's just so many projects on there that you won't even know what to do because there's so many I can't even keep up. Wonderful projects that everyone does, and I would love to make the time to like be able to do everyone's project, but there's just really so many. So for you to pick and choose from. So visit that site. And also you can visit my Facebook page at LM's Crafty Creations and show me what you make using my tutorials. I'd love to see them. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.